Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Manu Bashir. I'm Regional Manager, NBSSI, Ashanti. NBSSI is an agency under the Ministry of Trade and Industry responsible for the development and promotion of MSMEs in Ghana. We haven't been working in the MSME ecosystem for over 35 years. Have come to realize that the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, has really brought serious hardship on the operations of MSMEs. And for this reason, we have decided not to sit aloof, but to come up with very short and concise videos on how our MSMEs, our cherished clients, can utilize the Kaizen methodologies and principles to deal with the COVID. So we'll basically be looking at 3 sections: introduction to 5S, response to COVID-19, key points to resume operations under COVID-19, and then productivity and quality improvement under same COVID-19. By way of introduction, the concept of Kaizen, which is a Japanese concept, was introduced to staff of NBSSI through JICA Ghana, and it was really much successful. So as we speak, over 250 MSMEs in Ghana have been introduced to the concept and are practicing it. This has really enabled these beneficiary enterprises to reduce production costs, increase productivity and quality, as well as increase in sales and profit. The Kaizen concept is very much needed now more than ever by all SMEs, MSMEs, if they really want to sustain the operations and then remain in business. As I've already indicated, the pandemic has brought in its wake the need to social distance, and this is also the time that businesses are going through stress, and for that matter, need strategic doses of interventions to keep them afloat. The e-learning platform and strategy, we believe, comes in handy if we really want to tackle this menace head on. As we all know, the platform has of late been adopted and accepted by BDS providers because it provides a wider access and audience with a wide range of information on BDS without necessarily they having to physically be in contact with one another. This platform has been used to really provide huge resource materials for all kinds to businesses and other audiences. So, as a first step, Kaizen philosophy and concept recommends that at a stage 1, you need to organize emergency task force, and this we've always been recommending very strongly. Set up a 5S committee and sensitize them on their various rules to help cope with the COVID-19. The committee should ensure that there is safe working environment. So the picture below gives us a sense of a committee that has been formed. We need to discuss what it is that we have on our hands and how can we really deal with it. So we recommend company-wide activities to help cope with the COVID. And examples are, we are saying that there should be work environment improvement, that's preventing the 3 C's. And the 3 C's, we mean close contacts and then crowded places, and then how do you call it? Close working environments. If the place, the room is always closed, there's not enough ventilation and it will not help work well for the workers working in there. So as much as possible, prevent the 3 C's. And then we do this by introducing layout change, spacing out the machines so that people wouldn't have to come close to each other. Inventory management, visualization management, improvement in ventilation, introduce a shift system so that if you have 100 workers, you can divide them into 2 and each batch will come so that there will not be that much crowdedness at the workplace. Ensure all safety measures are in place and adhered to. So you can do this by reinforcing the visualization strategy as recommended by Kaizen. And every required working apparel must be worn before entering the production area. And for now, in the COVID era, we are talking about the need to put on the nose mask, which is very, very important. Work environment improvement Continuing the thesis, make critical information available at a glance. People don't have to struggle before they can know what is happening. So keep everyone informed of production schedules, daily attendance, inventory levels must be clear and displayed like we are seeing in the pictures below. So we are talking about the implementation of 5S, and the 5S, we've already been saying that the 5 Japanese terminologies for keeping the workplace neat and safe and orderly. And they are all starting with the S. That's why we have the 5S. So Seri, Seiton, Seiso, Seketu, and Shitsuke. Sort, set in order, shine, sustain, and then the discipline, the last aspect of it. And by sorting, we mean by you need to sort out all necessary items at the workplace, dispose of them, and then keep only those items that are necessary for current production. When you do that, you avoid crowding up the place, which leads to injury and other things. So look at the first picture. A lot of items have been put together. Some are needed, others are not needed, but they are there. And we witness this in most of our workplaces. So the second picture shows you how neatly the place is now arranged. When somebody wants to pick something, he doesn't have to go through a lot of steps before he can do that. So dispose of all necessary items and help create space, improve ventilation, avoid injuries, and improve safe working environment. This is highly recommended for all. And then we also talk of set in order, the second of the S's. Straighten what must be kept, make things visible, put tools on board and outline the tools so that location can be readily identified. Look at the first picture on our left. All the tools, the carpenters, the welders, the machinists, they're all at fault when it comes to some of these things. They put everything in a box. Very difficult to locate spanner 17. You have to bring everything down before you can identify that. But on the picture right, you see that everything is set on the board. At a glance, you can know which one to pick, and it doesn't waste time. And you don't have to also touch every tool, which somebody with the COVID might have touched. This helps really to save us from the COVID pandemic. Tools must be cleaned and sanitized before and after use to help reduce the risk of infection. This is one strong recommendation from Kaizen. And then shining, cleanliness is next to godliness. We've been talking about this, but how many of us really practice this? You don't like to clean. You always allow the dirt to pile up and then it becomes a mountain before we spend so much. When you adopt the Kaizen principle, every day somebody is assigned to clean, or even at the end of every day, people are supposed to come together and help clean the environment so that you don't have to have a lot of dirt. After cleaning, you disinfect, paint dirty places, and the place becomes very pleasant and nice for people to work in. And that is how those in overseas, they normally like going to work because the environment, the working environment is so conducive and it's so welcoming. So they are always ready to go there. But it takes effort of everybody to really get this thing done. Then standardization, spread the clean check routine. When others see the improvements in the work area, the Kaizen area, give them the training and the time to improve their work. This activity should become a standard practice for workers to help improve the environment. If you know that every day you have to clean, you need to put it on paper and then set time and then display it. Who is responsible, who is the supervisor, who takes what and this. And when it becomes part of everybody, people begin to get used to it and then sustain it. We like disposing of things that we started nicely. We do it 1 day, 2 days, second day, third day, and then the rest of the days we go back to the normal way of doing things. But if we keep ourselves and tell ourselves that no, we are going to maintain this no matter what comes, then we are able to sustain it, and the effort that we put in would become very much fruitful for us all. This is not the end. This is only the first part of it. There are other interesting models on marketing management, financial management, and accounting. I would encourage every viewer to also go on and search for the other two models and then watch them, because you are likely to pick very useful practical marketing management tips that will help you continue to do sales in this COVID era. And then financial management, resources are always already dwindling. And the little that you have, you need to know the little tidbits that will help you to really keep your company afloat, keep your company fluid so that you will not have problems of cash flow. So I encourage you to watch those models also. There are officers on standby. I've displayed their contacts here. Mr. Manu Bashir is the national coordinator and the regional manager, NBSSI Ashanti. The email address and telephone numbers are there. If you need further consultations, the Kaizen concept is so broad. We just give you a tidbit of the bit of the iceberg, as a tip of the iceberg info. So if you need further consultations, you can contact also Mr. Kipudari and then Mr. Mohammed Mahi. Their contact details have also been displayed. Thank you for watching, and then make time to go through the other models of marketing, financial management, and your business will never remain the same. You would effectively deal with. Kaizen is the way. Think Kaizen, live Kaizen, and everything will become very good for you. Thanks very much for watching.